Hello and welcome back to the PJ Trades review series. This is the first review that we are going to do from the new PJ Trades office, guys. We've moved to North Carolina. It's been very hectic, very busy getting everything organized in the house. And in between all of this, I have still been trading with the community. We have still been making a lot of money. And this is going to be the first trade review from the new office, which I'm excited about. As you guys can see, the background, we've got everything set up. And I'm just super blessed to be in this position, to be trading and reviewing and teaching students everything I have learned in my last 10 years of being a day trader. Yes, this is my 10th year. January is my 10th season. I am a seasoned veteran at this point, man. I have seen so many different markets and I've learned so much. So with that being said, I'm going to break down a very, very interesting Thursday that we just had. There was two trades that were basically given inside of the Discord. One I personally took. The second one came after the first trade, which I had already won and made money on. But the second one was something that I would trade probably 10 out of 10 times if I didn't already make a bunch of money. So I'm going to break down both trades, why we took it, and just, bring you guys, again, the sauciest of sauce trade reviews here on YouTube. All I ask really, guys, is, again, just support the channel, man. Show me the love. That's all I ask. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications when we drop new trade reviews here on the channel. All right, with that being said, let's get on into it. Turbo Attacks, presented by Tostitos, the chip company. So, for people following along, we are going to be looking at Thursday, January 22nd. This is where the first trade of this session forms. And it's a 30-second IFVG setup. And it happened so quickly, literally so quickly. And I was done and dusted in just a few seconds, honestly. I'm going to show you exactly why I took this trade and basically the reasoning behind it. And then we're going to go into the second trade that happened a little bit later into the session. So again, if you're following along, this is going to be Thursday, January 22nd. This is going to be on the NASDAQ. Yes, my crazy Latina NQ. We love it and we hate it at the same time, but we mostly love it. Okay, so here's what we got going on. And guys, I usually love to start on the 15-minute time frame for these breakdowns because the 15 just gives so much clarity, really. If there is a time frame that I could trade the rest of my life, if I didn't have the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, I'd be trading the 15-minute time frame exclusively. It's actually one of the time frames I worked on in the Forex industry for about 3 years, strictly trading the 15-minute time frame. And so I still come back to it pretty much every single day with trading futures because it gives me so much clarity in my trading session, which is from 9:30 till noon, right? We're not trading the entire day. I'm trading from 9:30 to 12. So the 15-minute time frame just works really well with my style of trading. So if we come into the 15-minute, we can clearly see, right, that the market is trending down to the downside. And we could see that the market in this section of that week filled the new week opening gap, okay? If you're just tuning into the channel, new week opening gap is exactly what it sounds like. It is when the market closes on a Friday and then it opens in a completely different territory of price. In this scenario, we have shifted to the downside aggressively, forming a new week opening gap. Okay. I have it marked on my chart because it's so dang important. It is going to be a draw on liquidity. It's going to be a possible resistance zone and or support zone. It's so important to have on your chart. It's a must. When you see a new week opening gap, you need to mark it open because it's in my 10 years of trading and being a full-time futures trader, using new week opening gap has provided so many clear, just structural targets for liquidity. And it's given me so much guidance in my trading. A lot of the times if the market has failed to take or fill new week opening gap, at some point in time during that trading week, or maybe the following week, the market's going to go back there and fill all of that void in the market that was left from this massive imbalance. So going back to this trade, I want to show you, exactly why I am interested in this zone here. So you could see the market comes down here, and this is the bottom side of that new week opening gap. Okay, that's the bottom side of it. That's where now we have the top side here. Okay, that is going to be the full fill of new week opening gap. Okay, so the market on this session on Thursday, January 22nd, it starts driving higher and finally fills that new week opening gap, right? And from that point forward, we start to consolidate here, right? And if you guys have been watching me for many months now, you would know that by looking at this structure right here, this looks awfully familiar to AMD, right? Here's your accumulation, right? Here's your manipulation leg, okay? And then here is your distribution leg, okay? That is an AMD setup: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And honestly, some of you guys, if you purely focused on this right here, you would be a profitable day trader, okay? Because if you can be a part of the distribution leg in day trading, it's going to be hard for you to lose money. But the problem is most of you guys get caught up in accumulation, and then you get caught in the manipulation here. And that's what's ruining your trading accounts. So on this session, again, we're ultra patient. We see the market manipulate pre-market, right? This is 8:45. I'm not trading. I only trade 9:30 again. That's when I start hunting. I actually don't even trade at 9:30. For you guys that don't know this, I trade at 9:45. The first 15 minutes of the open for me is data. It's information, okay? That first 15 minutes for some of you guys here today watching this YouTube video, if you can cancel out the first 15 minutes of day trading, you might see a major improvement. Actually, I'm pretty confident you will see a major improvement in your trading by just cutting out the first 15 minutes of trading. I did it in my career, and many of my students have done it, and they have complete clarity in their trading because of it. So back to my point. We are very patient. The market opens 9:30. We start drawing down 9:45. Look at all this information we've got here now. We're 30 minutes into the open and the market is driving lower. And you're probably like, oh no, I missed the move. What am I ever going to do? Listen, first of all, you never can think like that. The market is always going to present some sort of opportunity coming up. I've noticed in the 10 years of doing this that the more that you chase the market, the more money you're going to lose. Let the market come to you. I'm not concerned one bit with this market driving down 200 points, because I know that if we're gonna make a new lower low now, we've probably got to come back up to make that new lower low. So with all that being said, the 50-minute time frame has broken to the downside, and I have a clean London low as a DOL, okay? A DOL is a draw on liquidity for people just tuning into the channel. I have a London low, draw on liquidity right down into here. So I am looking for the market to draw into London low here, okay? What this really is, and the principle behind it, is a continuation short, right? I am looking for continuation, right? Continuation, pullback, okay? And continuation into the London low. That's the principle behind this 30-second idea. So we get the 15-minute breakdown, okay? And I'm going to hop straight onto the 1 minute here because I didn't use the 5, 3, or 2 in this scenario. This was mostly a 1 minute and 30-second execution. So let's go to the 1 minute, okay? I do want to show you that the 1 minute now at this point is putting in insane relative equal lows, right? These are engineered relative equal lows that the market is putting in, okay? Timeout now. I do remember something very important about this session. This week, we were getting very herky-jerky movement, and I wasn't getting clean fluidity after a trade was taken. So this is going to go into a later point on why I closed where I did, but the framework behind it is clearly obvious. I've got relative equal lows jammed up here, And at the same time, I have the London low down here still. So my draws on liquidity are open, and I'm looking for that continuation model here, okay? So when that happens and I get a pullback into this 1 minute sell side imbalance here, okay, we get a very, very nice rejection out of consequent encroachment, okay? Now, again, this trade is executed on the 32nd. So I see this happening, and then I hop on the 32nd. Now, here's where, dude, being a price action trader pays dividends, right? I start to see on the 32nd the first sign of weakness by the bulls. It prints a doji candle on the 32nd, and then the next candle goes IFVG. Okay, that's an inversion fair value gap on the 32nd time frame. And in real time, I'm reading this and I take an execution running a really nice stop size here for 18 points, targeting the relative equal lows, which is 59 points here. I'm not even looking for London, really. That would end up being just extra bread. My first and most obvious draw from me is going to be these jammed relative equal lows. Now, this is why I did what I did, though. This goes back to my point from about a minute ago on why I took profit here. The market has been herky-jerky in January, right? There hasn't been a lot of fluidity and clean breakouts. So every trade that I have taken, I'm looking to pay myself on the way. And in this scenario here, I end up getting half of my position off at about 45 points. And thank goodness that I did. I had a feeling that this day was going to be a little bit difficult. And now if you jump onto ES, you can see ES is starting to tell a different story here, okay? It's starting to tell a different story. It's looking pretty bullish, like it doesn't want to take any of these lows anymore, and it might start to move higher, okay? And me and Gaines have been talking about this on the live trading floor, that during this specific week, we were failing to see the market actually continue, and it actually starting to recover close to, overnight highs and lows. And in this example, London low being this close, you would think, hey, this is going to draw to London and be a beautiful trade idea. But this week, you just haven't got that. So I take half my position off right here, and look how beautiful this is. A perfect exit, okay, on this trade setup, and it comes back out and stops me at break even for the other half of the position. Now, again, I'm copy trading. So, 5 accounts, taking half position off here. I'm happy with the profits, and I'm ready to call it a day, okay, at this point, as we're getting later into the session. But of course, I do want to sit around and see what other opportunities that I can possibly feed some of the team. Well, here comes another very, very clean setup. Now, at this point, and this amount of time we have failed to break these lows, I'm starting to see an opportunity for the possibility that this market wants to be in for higher here. Because on the flip side of this, not only do we have relative equal lows, we have relative equal highs too. And as you can see, I have this marked out. Let me just bring the line back. I have this marked out here that the market has relative equal highs still at this swing high. So that becomes very interesting for me and the team. And we're starting to see some really good bullish price action. The first sign that the bulls have control is, remember this fair value gap here that we used for the short? Well, look, it just goes inverse to the upside with a change in the state of delivery here, okay? So you get a change in the state of delivery, you get an IFVG. Let me delete this now. And now we are starting to see an opportunity that this market might want to draw into these external highs here and the relative equal highs for a larger TP. But we're not in the trade just yet. And I'm going to break down exactly when we do get into the trade. You can see the framework here, but let's let price play out still. Now, here's where things get interesting. Okay. This honestly was such clean PA during the session. And if you can kind of see it here, right? We go IFVG, okay? We get a change in the state. We pull up. We get a nice breakout. We come back down into that IFVG. We respect consequent encroachment of that gap, which is the 50% line, okay? And we start pulling away from the gap. Okay, now at this point, I'm marking this trade up for traders. Okay, I am marking this trade up for people in the Discord. I really like this opportunity for higher here because of the draws on liquidity being pretty clean, right? We can get a nice TP off right here, an extended TP at those relative equal highs for a potential 111 point trade. So we calm this out in the Discord. And at this point, Gaines is in this position because he missed the second trade. Okay. And we've got this framework up on the chart for everyone to see. Now, this is the opportunity and this is the reason why you're probably asking, well, PJ, why are you in before this goes IFVG here? Well, the reason being, guys, is because the key change in the state happens here. Okay. That's your key change in the state, right? And this is your key IFVG. Why is that your key IFVG, chat? Okay. Why is this the key IFVG? Well, this is the first presented sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency of this downward leg here, right? This is going to be the key gap that we need to flip in order for bulls to be in control of this market. And we do get that here, okay? So when the market comes back into this zone and then we get this really nice bullish candle here, that's all we need to see, right? We're not waiting for this IFVG here, okay? We don't need it. We've already confirmed. I've got a nice bounce with V-shaped structure to it. We're in the trade and the rest is letting the market do its thing. As you can see, break even goes down here. So the trade becomes a risk-free trade. And then we get a very nice move all the way up to our take profit zone, which this is a long trade, but I believe this ends up going straight to 1738 or 25,738. But I remember we were calling this flight 1738 in the Discord that day. Yeah, so we end up taking this trade straight to first TP. And then again, this trade ends up becoming a 64-point winner on the session. And everybody made a lot of money that day. 2 winning trades in one session. Couldn't be happier with the execution and the trade idea. And yeah, that is that session on Thursday. It was a very exciting one, a 30-second IFVG followed by a 1-minute IFVG with a retest of that IFVG. And then you get that full delivery up to the 65-point take profit, which is these relative equal highs here. And I believe that lines up with a 5-minute sell side imbalance as well. So a great spot to TP at and take profits before the market may want to make a reversal back down to, again, that unmitigated London low. And I believe we do get a rejection. I think, yeah, see, the market starts turning downward later into the session. So yeah, great Thursday session, guys. I hope you learned a little bit of value here today. Again, if you're enjoying the content here on the YouTube channel, just do me a favor and drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will keep bringing you guys these trade reviews so you guys improve in your day-to-day operations. Have a blessed evening.